What's up guys, it's Chelsea Coleman here of Dauntless Performance Horses, and I am here with Adventure Time, aka Jake. Today we've got a fun little tutorial slash tips and tricks video for you about how to pack a foot. So Jake had gotten a puncture wound that required him to be on stall rest for a couple days, and when we turned him out in his little privacy pen so he could get some grass to integrate him back into the field, he had got excited and spun and twisted his shoe. So we ended up pulling the shoe off, and we're gonna have it tacked back on tomorrow. But I wanted to show you all what it looks like to pack a foot the way I do it, so we can turn him out and he's not uneven because he's missing that shoe. So that is what we have for you today. We're gonna go from start to finish, what you'll need. Again, this is all my version of packing a foot. What you'll need to do it my way and how to do it. So that's what we're gonna show you today.
Our champion now will be Chelsea Coleman, Dauntless Courage.
Okay, so first I'm going to walk you through the materials you'll need. If I have a horse that's in kind of a location where the ground's really dry and their feet are dry, I always will put hoof dressing on the foot before I pack it. You don't have to do that. I just do that to use it as an opportunity to moisturize the foot. When you have a foot in a foot pack, it's already gonna hold quite a bit of moisture, but we're down here in Florida and it's super dry. So this is homemade hoof dressing that I made. We'll do a separate video on that. Vet wrap, Gorilla tape. This is the extra wide Gorilla tape. You don't have to have this, it's just a little bit easier. You don't have to use quite as much material. They're going to be as noisy as possible, just so everyone knows. This is real life in a barn, so there you have it. We got 4 diapers, and we have Forstner's foot pack. This stuff will help draw out any inflammation, but it will not burn your horse's feet. We also have a hoof pick and then some gloves. Now, the gloves are used for 2 things. One, I use the gloves to get the Forstners out because it's very oily and sticky, and it will stick to your hands for days, no matter how many times you wash your hands. Also, there's a little trick I do with latex gloves. So I will show you that. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is pick up the foot, clean it out. And then set it back down. It helps if you have a horse that doesn't want to just completely lean on you while you pick his foot up, but what do you know? All right. Now, I will tell you, this stuff is really, really, really thick. In the summer, it's a lot easier to use than in the winter, but sometimes, like in the winter, I use double gloves because it will break through the first layer because it's so thick. So this is what it looks like. It's very Play-Doh-y. I'm gonna pick up this foot. I'm gonna get up underneath him, pull my materials over. Now, this stuff is safe, Jake. It's a lot easier if you stand on 3 legs instead of 2. Or go ahead and stand on 2 legs. It's a lot easier to pack this stuff, like I said, in the summer. But because this stuff you're not at risk of burning them, you can literally lather it all over the foot. You can put it on the heel, you can put it on the frog. It doesn't matter. So I am going to do that. Then I'm going to take the hoof dressing and just paint the foot. Now, make sure you close your hoof dressing back all the way, because when it is hot like this and it's very oily, if they knock it over, you will lose it all. So now I'm going to stretch my glove out, put my glove over the toe. And as you'll see, we're going to have to redo that probably, because Jake decided that that was not what he wanted to be a part of. Now I will go ahead and throw this in here. It is very important for people who have horses that do not like to stand tied to make their horses stand tied. Do not avoid the issue. That's what this horse does. He likes to threaten to sit back all the time, and he gets away with it. So when that happens in a situation like this, a horse that knows not to sit back, when he meets a little bit of resistance, he's going to stop. This horse doesn't really give a crap. He's just going to sit back anyway. And that's very agitating. So if your horse has an issue and he gets over said issue, don't stop addressing the issue. It will always be an issue if you don't address it. So even though he got over his, I'm going to set back and be a turd, it's still something that needs to be worked on a very, very, very regular basis, because he still has that kind of bullyish mentality of, if you dare me, I'll do it. And you don't want that. Now, I'm not saying you need to tie his head to a post and beat him when he sits back, but what I'm saying is if you work on it enough, you won't have that issue. Now, I'm just going to use this glove that I already used. Now, what you're seeing here is also very normal when it's hot outside. Sometimes this doesn't work, and that's okay. This glove will break, and that's not an issue. I simply do that just to hold a little bit more of the material in there. And then what we're going to do, this is the tricky part. So the main thing that wears through first on a foot pack is the toe. So I take a size 1 diaper, I drape it over the toe, and I will close the diaper like so. Jake. Also, he gets the benefit of the doubt today because I did not put fly spray on him, and the flies are really bad here. Always put fly spray on before you ask them to stand quietly in the heat and when there's a lot of flies, because that just doesn't help. That's why I'm not getting after him, because he's not being malicious here. He's just not liking the flies, which is understandable. All right, so I did one over the toe, one over the heel. Now I'm gonna do one the normal way with the Velcro pulling towards the heels. And then I'm gonna do one the normal way as well. But this time we're gonna pull the Velcro towards the coronary band. Now the concept behind putting 4 different diapers in 4 different directions is so that they don't equally pull one way. Jake, come on, dude. And obviously it's much easier to do this when you're not in a sandy location, but that's where we are. So that's what we have to work with. Another comment that I'll go ahead and address before it's even made, but I know it will be made, is why am I packing a foot sitting down? This horse is short for me. I'm 5'9" without shoes on. When you hold the leg like a farrier and you ask them to stand with their leg completely hiked up and pulled out for a long period of time, it's hard for them to stand that way. So I'm actually gonna wait for him to calm down for a second. Then I'm gonna let him put his foot down and move over. This horse can stand with his foot up for a long period of time. It's not an issue. He's just very dramatic. and doesn't like to do things the simple way. Pick that foot back up. Now, in an ideal world, you don't put vet wrap on a dirty diaper because it doesn't stick very easily, but once the vet wrap gets put on, you gotta put the duct tape straight on right away. So I'm always wrapping counterclockwise, and I'm always wrapping toe heel for the majority of the vet wrap. Now, once I get to close to the end, I'm gonna fill in the holes. Like so. Now, I do not make pre-made duct tape patches, and that is because it really puts a lot of stress on the foot. But if you're changing your horse's foot pack every day, that doesn't really matter. So that's totally fine to do. I just don't, because I also have I'm not the luckiest when it comes to duct tape, and I have a tendency to, on multiple occasions I've made the duct tape patch and then I wrinkle it and it's all ruined. So I do strip by strip. I do not ever recommend putting the tape on and just constantly wrapping, because that constricts the foot in a very, very severe way. And when you do that, you can cause some damage. Now, it's okay to put the foot on, put the duct tape on and then wrap like that. But I do not suggest a continuous wrap around like you would wrap a leg with a polo wrap, because like I said, that creates a lot of constriction to the foot. And if you've got a horse that's going to need to be wearing a foot pack for a while, you can cause them to become club-footed. So we do not like to do that. And then we'll do one strip right on the toe. Now we're going to migrate to the front. I'm going to pick up the foot. Now, I'll tell you this just because it's Jake. If you got a horse that likes to sit back, this is uncomfortable for them. So, oh boy. I'm not going to sit here all day with his foot like this, but I'm also just going to keep that in mind. Now that's a very disobedient behavior, so we're going to do that again just for teaching purposes. And that's just him not paying attention. One trick that I like is if you grab him by the toe, you can tuck that toe back in and then set the foot down. So two things there. When they're overextended forward, it's uncomfortable. And obviously, horses distribute most of their weight up front. I believe it's 70-30. So 70 up front, 30 behind. So when you take away a horse's leg that's naturally, he's quite underneath himself, and you stretch him forward, it's uneven for them and unbalanced. So that can make them a bit nervous. Now, the horses that sit back, by nature, you'll see him do that dog pose, which is his favorite. So that's another thing that becomes very uncomfortable. A lot of things you'll see doing that, they'll stand up on top of you, or they'll stand up on a farrier stand, whatnot. You can use a farrier stand or a stool. I don't suggest that, because then they learn they can lean on it. Ultimately with him, I want to teach him, especially because his mom's almost 70. I don't want him to lean on her. So that's something that I'm going to keep in mind when I'm doing things. There's always room for a teaching moment, especially when you're doing something like this. All right, so this part's actually pretty simple. You just want to get as much of the dust off as possible. Then you're going to wrap it right around there and close that vet wrap off. All right. And that's it. There you have it. So to retouch on everything, You need hoof pick, gloves, Forstner's hoof pack, hoof oil of your choice, vet wrap, duct tape of your choice. I suggest the Gorilla Tape because it's really durable and it is very, very strong. And there's a lot of it. And your diapers. So you're going to clean the foot out, put the Forstners in, put your hoof dressing on, put your glove over top, do diaper across the toe, diaper across the heel, diaper normal with Velcro towards the heels, diaper in a normal way with the Velcro towards the coronary band, then your vet wrap, and then finish off with your duct tape. And then you've got a perfect foot pack. Thanks for watching, and remember, doesn't matter where you come from, only matters where you're going.